From days of long ago, created by the cosmic legends of the universe. There stands one man, one great man, a man dedicated to preserving all that is good in pop culture. Loved by few, hated by many. Alone in his fortress of awesomeness, he battles fearlessly against the woke, the evil, the unjust. To right that which is wrong, to stand for justice, to serve all mankind. He is the one, the only, the Comic Relief Crusader.
Hey everybody, how's it going out there? Welcome to the Fortress of Awesomeness. I am your host, the Comic Relief Crusader here, and we have all made it to Friday once again. It's time to ease into the weekend and relax and enjoy the perpetuity that is the stupid on this channel. Welcome everyone, and let's see. Hello to Dark Helmet. He walks in, sits down with tons of beer and bacon. Good for you, Dark Helmet. Please do not get a heart attack on account that, bacon is fattening. And, for every beer that you drink, just remember this. It's like consuming about 72 slices of white bread. There you go. I'm glad I made that happy for you. And Flip City Magazine, how's it going, guys? Jeez, nice to see you here. This sounds like a fantastic episode because it is Flip City Magazine. And Petty is also here on my way out to get a haircut. Catch y'all along the way. Petty, thank you, my lucky penny. That is here as well. Nice to see you. And Wendy, Drama Warrior. Hello, everybody. I'm babysitting with my granddaughter. Hello, granddaughter of Wendy Trauma Warrior. She is 3 months old. Nice. And it's much nicer sitting at home enjoying the day off with a hot lemon ginger tea. As soon as my granddaughter gets picked up, there may be vodka in the tea. Awesome. Nice to know. And everybody, if you can send your, and I know this sounds rather cliche, but thoughts and prayers to Wendy and family. If I got the story straight, I would think it was like yesterday or the day before, there was a little bit of a fire kind of like next door and part of her house got damaged. So, hey, Wendy, I'm glad that you guys are safe, and that everybody in the family is safe. I really, really hope you guys are. So, God, guys, get better soon. And Sci-Fi Dan, how's it going? Sci-Fi Sith Dan, nice to see you. And we also got Mindy Wheeler. Now, this person, along with her husband, Mike. So great, guys. Nice to see them in the chat. You might want to check out their comics. And for the life of me, I'm trying to remember what their comics is called. But such titles as, well, they put a Comics Illustrated, which is a monthly comic book magazine where they got like various articles and whatnot from independent artists that are out there. If you are part of the Comics Gate crowd or just like to fund independent comics out there, and check out oh my God, my wife's going to kill me. Check out their issue of boobs because, most men like boobs. So check out their issue boobs. And on top of that, their magazine Comics Illustrated. So, hey, Mindy, nice to see you. And my illustrious friend and comic creator, Al Nickerson. How's it going, man? Nice to see you. And hey, guys, also in the description down below, Al is pretty close to, as far as I know, having Sword of Eden issue 2 Shinobi that's coming out soon. So if you guys want to grab the first book, the description is down below as well. So go get yourself book 1 of Sword of Eden. Plus, on top of that, as my friends from Flip City Magazine are also there, you know what? On top of that, check out their magazine subscription. And to all of you guys out there, guys and gals, that also won a subscription to Flip City Magazine, just use the coupon code CRC for 10% off, and it'll get delivered right straight to you. And we also got Killer Rabbit in Space. These greetings are getting really long. So hey, man, nice to see you. And we also got Pixelated Dreams, hail to you, and Radioactive. Nice to see you, man. And Vince Wogmack is also here, and he's also saying hi on Rumble as well. So, hey, Vince, nice to see you. And Event Progenitor, I would wait. The Fanny trial is going off at the moment. Oh, okay. Well, not a problem, dude. And he's listening also on Rumble. So don't forget, because we also have a Rumble channel. And okay. So I'm just trying to catch up with everybody. Snorter Poopas, nice to see you. Yes, Shinobi should be at the printers in the summer. Awesome. So yes, grab the first book, and then also on top of that, while you're at it, grab the first book. So that being said, let's welcome our pundits, shall we?
If you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where fashion sits?
Pop Culture Republic, how's it going?
Hey, it's going all right.
You are number one.
I'm number one. I'm who reads. Yes.
Nice. How's it going, dude?
Yeah, it's going all right. Another great day.
Nice. Awesome. In Texas, nice and warm?
Oh, the weather's all over the place.
Oh, okay.
Like one day it's air conditioning, and the next day it'll be the heat. Yeah, it's up, down, up, down.
Ah, there we go. Well, at least you're not sunburned yet. So
yeah, not yet. That'll be next month.
And Appion, how's it going, man?
What's
up?
Hello.
Oh, there we go. And I can't leave. Yeah, because I'm sure that the geeky leftist home wants to get on that. So yeah, to both of you, what's up?
Pop Culture got to win the raffle today and got to get the musical.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
That's what happens when you're late.
Don't mind me. I'm just looking around. Man, that Fortress of Awesomeness is always just surprising when I look at these big hall ceiling.
There you go. This is exactly what happens when you're late. You don't get first tier chair. And oh geez, hey, I want to mention this on top of that. Wendy gifted 10 Comic Relief Crusader memberships. Wow, thank you extremely much, Wendy. Thank you.
You get a membership. You get a membership. Everybody gets a membership.
Thank you. So everybody out there, grab your memberships while you can. They don't last long for a little. And you get a membership, Everybody gets a membership.
Check under your seats. There's a membership down there.
To Wendy, this one I really, really appreciated. This one is for you. If it boots up.
Gratitude for your service in the past. Here's a sandwich.
But
thanks for coming, everybody. Good night.
No, wait.
You got your sandwich.
My tallest, an opportunity to prove I truly can be an invader, is all.
There you go. There you go, Wendy. All for you. Thank you very much for the memberships, Wendy. I really appreciate it. So yeah. So all you have to do is just click on that certain link in the YouTubes and go get your membership. It's fun. This is why the show exists, because for sheer perverted pleasure and fun and everything like that. So there you go. Yes. So let's see. About purchase. Had I not turned it off, I didn't know that was a thing. It is a thing, and now you know. So grab it right now while you can. And Real Way Nation Gaming, how's it going, man? Okay, nice to see you here. All right, then. So, now a buddy of mine, as we usually do, because we got stupid news and everything is kind of out of whack, but let's do that right now. Stupid news. Okay, so this time in stupid news, we got some stuff. So from a buddy of mine, John Adair, all the way in New Brunswick, and we'll go through some news articles. And Chrissy, how's it going? Nice to see you here. What's cracking? Good fellows, everything, especially my voice at the time. So first of all, I'm going to lead off with this, so everybody gets a good laugh.
Ooh.
Okay,
That's,
that's what you don't do. So I should have probably led that off with stupid news, but that's okay.
Yeah,
So,
that was fun. How?
yeah,
I was like, I was gonna wear a cup for this bit. I forgot it.
exactly. Oh my god, it's when you want an easy vasectomy, do that. Okay,
Try playing ball
so-
hockey in the middle of a cold winter and forgetting to wear your cup when you're a goalie. And the ball hockey is
Oh man.
really hard.
Exactly.
Oh boy.
So as we got Wendy Trauma Warrior, let's see, that is babysitting. My God, babysitting her grandchild. Wendy, I'm gonna apologize for this, but seeing how you work in hospitals and you and your trauma team have been so gracious to this channel, this from the New York Times. Doctors shocked over a patient who shoved batteries into his penis and then got them stuck.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know. A 73-year-old Australian man was positively shocked. I love that pun. To need urgent urethra surgery after jamming 3 button cell batteries into his poo-hoo dilly. So, yeah.
Did he take
Guys?
double A's or triple A's?
Well, that remains to be seen. So, I don't.
There's a pill for that, right?
Why?
I don't know.
Why?
He needed the extra energy to maybe get something up or something like that. I have no idea.
Ciccolini
So-
here may talk like an idiot and look like an idiot, but don't let that fool you. He really is an idiot.
It's just, I don't know what it is with.
Oh goodness.
Yeah,
Thought he was
exactly.
I'm
energized
President
man.
Trump, and I approve this message.
So, oh my, yeah, that's basically it. So, oh my God. No, don't do this. Snorter Poopers wants to know, yeah, what size batteries? I'm thinking D cells. Well, I don't know. As we get older, maybe things are kind of more crammed up and you can't pee as much. So maybe he needed the extra opening or something like that. I don't know.
First that
So-
video and then this story. Wow, things are starting to hurt.
Exactly. See how I like to lead one thing into another. Wendy Trauma Warrior.
Oh no.
We had a prisoner brought in for something similar, but he just wanted pain meds. Wow. Okay.
This guy needs to meet the lady that with the iPads from that last show story.
Oh, that
exactly,
one. Oh
right?
goodness.
Yeah.
They can
And
plug
then
into each other
progenitor.
and-
Yeah.
Please do not make batteries have a warning not to do that. Oh my God.
Oh,
I
it's
know,
coming.
right?
It's coming. Do not stick in your penis.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Well, just like that, we're gonna have iPads that say "Don't stick in your vajayjay."
Yeah.
oh my God, I know, right? Vince Womack, maybe he thought the batteries up there could keep going and going and going
Mhm.
and going.
Energizer man.
Sometimes I just want to
Exactly.
say, stop the world. I want to get off.
Yes, exactly. Snorter Poopas, peens and nuts. That's setting a theme to this show. It happens accidentally, Snorter Poopas. It always happens accidentally. Yeah, because last Tuesday we were talking about this woman that happened to steal 6 iPads and put it in a place where the sun don't shine. And well, now we're getting 73-year-olds that are shoving batteries into their poo-hoo dilly, yeah, don't do that.
I'm still thinking, what size are those iPads? Like that still baffles my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. So,
I try not to even think about it.
Yeah,
Like,
Elon. So that
yeah,
Mark
no.
line. Yeah, no. Exactly. So yeah, no, there was that. People don't shove things where they do not belong. I can't stress this enough. Plus, on top of that, you will make Wendy and her entire team work overtime, and they have enough stress as it is. So, this also in stupid news. Yeah, so the first one actually was sent by Gap After Dark. So, Gap, if you're listening on the rewind, thank you very much for this. I really appreciate it. So, you guys make this show happen, like I've said time and time again. And also, people, I want to warn you ahead of time. If you happen to fly, on vacation and stuff like that, do not use air travel, okay? And here is the reason why. Okay. This also from the New York Post, the provider of fine news. Apparently, the FAA in the United States diversity push includes focus on hiring people with severe intellectual and psychiatric disabilities.
What?
Yes.
Now, there are times I look at headlines and think, that can't be real. That's got to be a joke. That's got to be a spoof.
That's a New York Post.
Exactly.
New York Post published, looks like January 14th of this year. Yeah, I don't fly as it begins.
So this was so this was essentially a month ago. Yeah, exactly.
I don't see this passing. No
Vince Womack says, he just identify as Icarus and take flight. Exactly, Vince.
Yeah, exactly.
They still better need to pass some sort of test or like one of those, fake flight simulator things.
How do you pass them though if they have severe intellectual and psychiatric disabilities though?
Oh, John is just so stupid. He keeps on hitting the buildings, but he's special. Oh, let's give him the job anyway.
Let him fly this multi-million-dollar machine and put like hundreds of people's lives at risk.
Yeah. Is this like that social promotion used in high schools to get kids out? Like, well, Johnny's been in high school for 6 years now. Let's just go ahead and graduate him.
Yeah, exactly.
That's one way to thin the population of the planet.
Yeah.
Oh, God, exactly, right. Event says, so what you're saying is film planes that fly overhead. Yes, that is real. And it was on Gateway Pundit 2. Yeah.
Wow.
God, Mindy, but Timmy wants to fly the plane too.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be having a very special pilot today. It's his first flight ever. Don't be worried at all. You'll all be fine.
Oh my God! You know what?
The safety tips at the beginning.
If you guys out there, if you guys out there are familiar, with Monty Python, and I know all of you are, remember Mr. Gumby, right? Hello, I am flying airplane.
They better start giving everybody their own personal freaking parachute at this point. Then
no,
you can let me off right here. Just open the door. I'm out.
If I can't get to a destination by boat, car, or train, or by walking to it, I don't need to be there.
No. This is your captain speaking. Hello. I'm flying this plane. It's like, oh my God, we're all gonna die.
Look at all these buttons. They're going all flashy. What is this?
I'd rather have the inflatable co-pilot from Airplane.
Yeah.
Yeah, from Airplane. Exactly. Oh my God. Really? Oh, jeez. Snorter Poopers, yeah. This is your pilot speaking. We'll be departing the gate. Oh my God! Did you see that? It's huge! It's eating the terminal! Run! Okay, calm down now. Let's go. My God.
There's something in the cockpit.
Geez.
Something.
Yes. Exactly.
This is where you need a clip of the old A-Team TV show with B.A. Baracus going, "You're not getting me in no plane, Hannibal."
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God.
Obi-Wan Kenobi, I hate flying.
I hate flying.
Yeah, now we know why, right? So his astromech was a retard. So Dollar General pit stop. Oh my God! Yes, I know, Snort. I
Yes.
know. This Launchpad McQuack here. Oh, radioactive. Yeah, plane crash accident. 3, 2, 1. Exactly. Oh God. Yeah. Gives you the people's eyebrow. Yeah, precisely. So, oh my God. My God. We're all, thank God. Yeah, there we go. Thank God my son is a pilot. Exactly. Well, thank God he's not a retard. I'm sorry. And yes, I will use that word. I go by 80s rules. So, yeah, don't call me Shirley. Exactly.
Surely you can't be serious.
I'm very serious. And don't call me Shirley. So, oh my God. Well, anyway, so now that we got that happiness on the way, speaking of retards, yeah, today is a show that we kind of touched up on, I believe, back in November, December. And it's very prevalent going on nowadays, especially with the announcement of X-Men 97 coming up. And of course, they're introducing, this non-binary character and all that kind of stuff. And if it wasn't for X-Men Animated, that was that was on Fox, that a lot of people enjoy. If it wasn't for the comics that made that possible, we wouldn't have those shows, those cartoons that used to be on Fox, and Saturday morning kind of fun time kind of stuff, right? And we wouldn't have the movies that we had today. And I mean, we can definitely agree that, X-Men, when it first came out by Fox, I mean, that changed a lot of things, especially, right? I mean, it definitely made a lot of careers, that's for sure. But, if the whole point is, if it wasn't for the comics, we wouldn't really have any of this kind of stuff that we're watching right now, right? And this is a subject, like I said before, that we touched up on back in November, December, and it's definitely something that I definitely wanted to get back into, especially after interviewing people like Al Nickerson, who's here on this channel, has a second book. Go check that out again. Or interviewing people like Flip City Magazine, and then of course we got. We have Mendy and more than likely Mike Wheeler. They are in comics, and this is such a prevalent thing. Exactly, you dude. That's who you. So, because I love you, man. This is such a big thing that's going on, and we know that comic sales are slumping like crazy. Manga is essentially taking over. I mean, like we also touched up on here that even Rob Liefeld, who's retiring from doing Deadpool, is just even standing out saying that, hey, God, Marvel's shit now. They don't know what they're doing. So this was an interesting article that I wanted to get back on, and I want to hear everybody's kind of take on this, because it is important, especially to a lot of independent creators out there. I mean, myself, I'm training up to want to be able to put my own comic out. Like I said before, we got a few people in here that are, in the comic industry and stuff like that. So this is something that is pretty important here, right? And this is about an expose. And I know that the date is 2020, but a lot of people don't know about this. And I know it's been talked about, with a few quote unquote big people out there, maybe Ethan Renshiver, maybe Eric July, I'm not sure, but probably a lot of people out there don't know about this, and I do want to bring it up. And this is an expose on the Whisper Network, and which exists and tries to destroy a lot of male comic pros out there, whether they're on the conservative side of things, or even if they if they believe in, say, believe in God, right? Or just have their religion out there for everybody to see, or something like that. But no, you can't have that out there. no, we don't agree with that, and therefore, a lot of you need to be canceled. And we've seen that over the years, right? So this is what it is. And, I'm going to take a few pauses here and there for everybody to chime in along the way, right? So here's the thing. Many of the women promoting the cancellation of men in comics and demanding they post the recent empty promise known as the comics pledge are in fact hypocrites. Now, in this article, the author of this article, I'm going to present evidence and lies, collusion, rumor spreading, and, in my opinion, defamation and contract interference, because this is a big thing that's going on right now and has been going on for quite a long time. Now, personally, I know they've colluded for years to take down men, specifically those of a conservative politics and philosophies. And this is an ongoing, coordinated effort. How do I know this? Because I obtained access to their private Facebook group. Now, this is part one of the Hypocalypse leaks. And I tried to find this group, and the thing is about Facebook is if you want a very private group, the only way that you're going to take a peek inside is if they invite you. So essentially, if you're a nobody, there's no way that you know what's going on. But all these people, and you can find them on X, you can find them in on Facebook, certain groups that do tote certain news out there, like say comic book news, for example, Collider, a lot of other networks that are out there, that are trying to push these things as, oh, this is such a great thing. You should be reading this and blah, blah, blah. Don't be fooled out there, people. Do not be fooled. Yeah, they are awesome. Flip City is awesome. I agree. Let's see. Radioactive. Oh, Raylo card. Yeah, it's because they want us to be nostalgic for the 90s. Exactly. That's true. Copy that. So it's nostalgia bait. Yeah, it is, essentially. Yeah, Mindy Wheeler. I was invited into the Whisper Network. Wow, back all the way in 2015. So that's how long this has been going on. Let's see. Oh, yeah, totally. This is an expose by Penny. Heck, I messed when you were pulling this from. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm pulling this from the Bleeding Fools Network. So, yes, this is an article by Penny Parker. So, if you want, I can put the link in the chat there for everybody to peruse a little later on. So, now this is part one. So, there is simply too much to put in one leak. So, I'll make the following 3 points for now. Okay, 1. The so-called Comic Book Whisper Network, which has been dismissed as a conspiracy theory since 2016, is real, and I have hundreds of screenshots to prove it. The Whisper Network has been targeting men and trying to destroy their careers and use their connections in the comic book media to do so. 3, the Whisper Network members have acted unprofessionally and unethically at best. At worst, they have engaged in what I believe could be illegal behavior. All right? So, 3 big points. Now, this is Penny's story right here, and not the Penny that we have here in chat, although, it would just totally amaze and shock me if it actually was that Penny. But so Penny's story is, I first heard about the Whisper Network back in mid-2016 from folks I knew at Image, DC, Marvel, and later Valiant. Now, depending on who I chatted with, sometimes the group was called the Women's Network, other times the Whisper Network, and occasionally the Whisper Campaign. And eventually, there were more conspiratorial names used mockingly. A friend called them a gender-swapped 4chan, which became FemChan to some insiders. Regardless of the name, it was all the same group. The same 5 or 6 names kept popping up in the conversation over and over again. As time ticked on, I noticed a trend on social media. half a decade of rumors, false allegations, cancellation attempts, and they almost always trace back to these same 5 or 6 people. The goal of this whisper network, according to industry folks, was simple: choose a target, smear them until they lose their reputation, their income, and were ultimately blacklisted, opening up job opportunities for the same people who started these smear campaigns in the first place. Wow. I mean, that's nuts, because here we got this whole, what happened a few years ago, this whole Me Too movement, that, hey, you got to believe her because, she's woman, right? And that made for a lot of, let's put it this way, a lot of false allegations and false rumors and stuff like that. And this is essentially, well, you could say essentially the same thing, right? Yeah, okay, cool, thank you. Yes, I'm familiar with Penny. Awesome, great. Yeah, hey, Flip City Magazine, how's it going? Nice to see you again. So, yeah, this is massive lawsuit stuff. It is. And I want you guys to pay attention to the people involved, because you know what? Here's what I think, right? And this is just my opinion again. If they can go out of their ways to smear people, and I know some people might say, well, that's not exactly the Christian thing to do, to to kind of punch back. Sometimes you gotta, right? And expose these people for who they are, right? And I'm not condoning violence whatsoever. I'm just using that phrase metaphorically, of course. But yeah, we got to fight back. This is the only way to fight back, knowing who these people are and pointing out what they do and what they're doing. And because, a lot of these comic legends that are out there, they don't deserve to lose their jobs. They don't. They provided years of entertainment, and I just hate seeing this going on. Yes, it was deeply described to me as a secret group for women in comics. Yeah, wow. Damn. Event progenitor. I wonder if Clownfish TV peeps knew about this. I'm not sure. I haven't the faintest idea. So if they do, they do, because I know one of them works at Image or worked at Image. I'm not entirely sure. So it goes on to say, yes, and this was a tweet that was mentioned. Yeah, invented enemies? Don't tell me. Tell the Whisper Network that keeps anyone who remotely leans right from working. There are countless instances of these creators being totally disrespectful to customers. Sorry, SJWs exist even though they're a social construct, said Drew. So now behind the scenes, these cancellations are painted as morally or politically motivated, but in the end it's all financial, right? Because hey, we all know it from this whole cancel culture that's going on. If they don't agree with you, they will find out who you are, they will try to dox you, they will try to lose your job, make sure you're unemployed. For example, Al can attest to this, because if you remember the interview, and if you haven't seen that interview, go back and watch it, where he was teaching art at a university, and essentially the university didn't fire him, but they made it so he was not working. Let's put it that way. And I'll let Al probably explain that more in the chat.
I remember the interview. I could say watching that was disgusting the way they did that to him.
Yeah,
and I mean, that was wrong.
That was pretty bad.
It was. I mean, to do that to people, I mean, that is just, and they call people like us like criminals or fascists or, racist bastards or anything like that. I mean,
but
seriously.
To go above and beyond, try to actually ruin somebody's life and livelihood.
Just because they don't have a different opinion.
Yeah, just because you don't like who they voted for, you don't like them worshiping a certain deity.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm sorry, we all have jobs where you work with people of different backgrounds. What, you want them fired too? I don't get that concept.
It only goes one way. Cancel culture only goes one way.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Unfortunately,
exactly.
yeah.
And Ray Lucard, hey man, how's it going? SJW don't read comics. Remember they tried to pander by creating Snowflake and Safe Space? Oh God, yeah. Tell me about it. The new Warriors. And how did that go, Marvel? Didn't go too good, did it? No.
That didn't even release, did it? Yeah, it never released.
I don't believe it ever released.
No.
Nope. It never did.
If they released it, we YouTubers would have a field day with that
Oh
book.
gosh, yeah. I would like to get hold of if they ever did one issue. I would love to get hold of that.
Well, I mean, they did put out another one that I was supposed to read with Pops called Super Trans that's in the Marvel universe. Oh no, I am not kidding you. I am not kidding you.
Okay, that actually could be funny if done right.
But it's not done right. That's the whole thing.
Super Trans. Dylan Mulvaney. What?
Oh my God! And it was just so horrible.
Oh God, I had fun with that.
They did that in the Supergirl show. They had a character named Dreamer, and she was like a trans character, and like that was literally her whole personality. She just like constantly would remind you that she's that. It's like, okay, is there anything else to your character? No, you're that one dimensional. All right, fine.
Yeah,
that's all we're gonna get.
Right. Or what was the other one that was in what was it, Marvel Boy, right? That goes on that you know, my pronouns are he, him, and you know, my saliva is an aphrodisiac or something like that, you know, and and I can think anything that you're thinking of and blah 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 blah, you know, and I'm like the bestest ever. You know, it's like, oh my God, just shut up. And then they try to make like Batman bi, and like, you know, this is the whole thing that's going on, and it's because of these people, right?
Now, and if I can just counteract, because you know me, I'm that kind of active. Now, characters can be written in those things, but don't force it down your throat. Like I said, the Angela comic, I enjoyed Angela from Spawn. There was a trans female, but she wasn't forced to. You don't hear it only once, and then her character just goes on a good story arc, and I like her character. But it was like they didn't force it. It was just there. That's it.
Like I wanted to like that Dreamer character, but like every time they bring her up, it's like, oh yeah, I'm trans. It's like, I know. You said that like every time. You don't have to keep reminding the audience every time you appear on screen.
And I didn't even hate her character.
I know, right?
It's just it was forced. It was too forced.
Yeah.
Oh, it was 100% forced. Ray Lucard says, to quote the guy, comic book heroes are intimidating. Haha, you know, hey guy, I recommend some Punisher or Night Quest Batman. Yeah, exactly. That was yes, exactly. Some real good Punisher. Flint City Magazine will rewrite Super Trends to make it more entertaining. Yes,
yes, please
do it.
And if you ever do voiceover for that one, I'll do that one. Oh my God, please. I'd have fun.
And Mindy, sure, yeah, we'll have you on to talk about this. Yeah, not a problem. So just give me a bit here because I'm multitasking. So where was I? Yeah, as time passed, a group in question seemed more and more like a reality. I saw their influence. I saw things I knew to be verifiably untrue go viral online, appearing in what I thought were legit news sources. I felt angry and helpless after seeing people getting attacked, but did not know what to do. A few years passed, and by 2018, almost everyone I interacted with in the industry seemed to know about the network from top level editors. Wow. Top level, right down to the letterers. It was an open secret, but no one was willing to speak up for fear of being targeted themselves. They knew the consequences. Wow. So, you know, there you go. Essentially, it's a comics mafia.
Yeah, I was about to say it's very a mafia-like gatekeepers, a small group of a few select individuals who apparently have such an intimidating control over the entire comics industry. It's just crazy.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and this is how they get into. This is how they end up getting into universities. This is how they end up getting in politics. This is how they end up getting in Hollywood. And as we're seeing here, this is how they got into comics, because the one way to, let's say, influence the masses is through entertainment.
Yeah, 100%.
That's entirely it. entertainment, because what tickles the senses, essentially, that's essentially how you what's the word I'm looking for? That's how you influence 100%.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, and that's what's going on. Mindy, if you check your Facebook, I sent you a link. Yeah, I'd be happy to have you on. So check your Facebook if you can, please. So,
one thing, if I can interject quickly. One thing I noticed this group of people likes
for
to say,
old people.
I know.
If I can say it.
I have Facebook. I'm just messing.
No.
Go ahead.
But one thing they say, and I've argued with some people with it that like to do this kind of crap. They say freedom of expression or freedom of rights. What about freedom of consequence? Shut up with your freedom of consequence. Freedoms are freedoms. Even if you don't like it or it's something wrong, just don't read it. It's that simple. Don't look.
Right.
Yeah,
I forget who it was. There's some actor that said it's not cancel culture, it's consequence culture. You say something somebody doesn't like, you got to face the consequences. No, it's freedom of speech. It's the First Amendment.
And let's be honest, there's some people out there who do racist stuff. It just don't look at it. Simple. You know, it's bad, but it's still freedom of speech. Even for the good and bad, freedom of speech is freedom of speech. Simple.
Exactly. Al Nickerson says, after 10 years of teaching, Sonny Orange scolded me for being a Christian and wanted me to go away. I went into great detail about this on last night's interview with Flip City. Yeah, so that's right. So guys, Al Nickerson was on Flip City last night. Check out their channel, Flip City. You can go ahead and put that in the chat if you want to. So give small people with no personal power a little power over others, and they become tyrants. Exactly.
I actually listen to that because I liked your interview with Al. With too. Al, you have a good story to tell. So big time.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So Event Progenitor says it's a way to bypass freedom of speech.
Yeah.
I mean, they think they can skirt it. Well, nobody's free from consequence. It's like, but let it be on my head. It's not up to you to deal out, what consequences I should be, facing. It's not up to you.
Yeah, the crime is somebody believed something that was politically inconvenient, i.e. being a conservative or voting for a particular political party, and then people didn't like that, so you've got to face the consequences of other people not liking your stances on issues.
Yeah, and now where in the world is there's now a law that passed just last week that you can be arrested for saying something.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Mindy, how's it going?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hello.
Thanks for having me. What's up? You guys are fun stuff. Thank you.
Yeah, it's all good. Hey, I mean, if you know stuff about this too, I am more than happy to bring anybody on. So, and it's nice to have a woman in the chat finally. That on this, because we're such a sexist show.
Well, you're hitting quite a nerve, and so I mean, I was invited to this group by a fan, and it was a fan of my artwork at San Diego. They came by and they're like, "I really like your stuff. Would you like to be part of a super secret women's club in comics?" And it was even like whispered to me. Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, okay." Like feminism, it's kind of like not my thing. I didn't say that, but I was like, "Okay, it's a fan." She's like, "Sure." And then she said, "Okay, you have to get Gail Simone's approval. I'll send you the invite." Oh. And so it was, and I got no beef with Gail Simone. Like, I don't really know her. I've actually met her and she was nice to me. So the long story short, I just didn't get approved. Like something about me wasn't okay. And I saw the Facebook invite come in and it was like a women's network. And I couldn't really even see it. I just remember having issues. And then one day it just disappeared. And I tried to reach back out to that fan and I was like, "Hey, was there something, But no response, ghosted. And the kind of vibe of it was like, I want you to succeed. I think that she might have even said that. I want you to succeed. So I'm going to invite you to this group. So yeah, like I fully believe this. I've talked to Penny a little bit. I think she's come out since then, and she said they also have targeted women since then. But yeah, I will say, like in general, as you go through this, it's not just a tactic of them. Like this is one group, but I've noticed this. It's even happening to me right now, and other people are starting to catch on too. The way that these kind of like networks operate. And I call it the comic book old guard, thanks to Ryan Howitt. He introduced me to that term that canceled the other people. And it's competition based. They just want to kill off competition, and they come in and they will sneak into your DMs. So in addition to the Facebook group, they will seek out who your customers are, who your fans are, who you're associated with, and they will DM those people, and they will say, oh, Mindy's got a bad reputation. And they have like files on people. Like I'm sure there's many people that have files on me, and they collect things and they make things up and they slander and lie. And that's just the name of the game. It exists even beyond the Whisper Network. It goes like anywhere in comics, and I happen to know, I think most of the sources by now. Penny and these guys are like definitely in a mainstream corner. Then there's also the indie guys who are like connected to them too, and there's this whole network, and that's what they do to creatives on the up and up. So if you are an indie creator and you're trying to be successful, you're going to bat heads with it, and I encourage everybody always to question anybody sliding into your DMs saying, hey, I'm warning you about this person and their bad reputation, because that is how they operate. In addition to the groups, that's what they do. So don't believe that. They've been doing that to me for years. They go in and they slander me, and they send these messages that, oh, do you know about their bad reputation? And exactly like the Whisper Network, they fabricate said bad reputation. It's not real. So that's really what I just wanted to say is like, this stuff is going on in real time. And yes, the Whisper Network I have come in contact with, and yes, that's how they operate. And yeah, that's it. It sucks, but don't believe it. It only works if you believe it. Okay.
Exactly.
Right. So yeah.
Flip City Magazine. Yeah. Mike's misogyny is on full display. Yeah, it's true. It's true. I'm an equal opportunist that way. So, you know, that's the way this rolls. Let's see. Al Nickerson, does this article list the 5 or 6 people who are part of this Comic Whisper Network? Yes, my friend, it does. Oh, very, very much so. Oh, yes, it does. Penny, it's weird to keep hearing and seeing my name. I won't say a thing. So, see how I whispered that there? So, there we go. Vince Warwick says, yeah, many people have forgotten that Candace Owens once ran basically a doxing website. That's true. I remember that way back when. So, but anyway, on with the article. So after all this was a secret network without proof. There was no point in going public because members would just deny its existence and use their social media connections to smear anyone who challenged them. Ooh, interesting, kind of like what Mindy had just said. Now, when things got interesting, back in December 16th of 2018, the Whisper Network member Gail Simone, who joined the network 6 years ago, 4 years, well, so technically, as this was written in 2020, this would be now 10 years ago, mocks doofuses who speculate that a Whisper campaign exists. So, and this post that was on Twitter back December 16th, there's the date, 2018. So Ian Rennie says, yeah, Gail, you've replied to my tweets 4 times this year. Does that make us best buds? Wow, simping much? To which Gail Simone says, yes, it's part of our Whisper campaign, according to doofuses, right? Well, that's okay. I'm glad to be a doofus then. I mean, have you seen the channel? So, here's another tweet where Gail makes a list of fake things the Whisper campaign is discussing in an attempt to laugh away the notion, right? So this December 16th, again, today's Whisper campaign topics, the good Ben Stiller movie. Well, there's more than just one. Covering up the bad smell at com's comic page glue, fact or myth. Yeah, geez, yeah, because it's
gotta be Tropic Thunder. That's his most offensive movie.
Exactly.
Again, maybe Dodgeball too. Jeez.
Zoolander.
Yeah.
Don't forget
Zoolander. Frig.
Center for kids who can't read. What is this? A center for ants?
I was gonna say that.
Yes.
For that one scene, it's like, God, you're a retard.
I don't know what else I'm good at, but other than being really, really good looking.
Yeah, oh my God. Oh, I love you guys. It's so cool. So exactly. Yeah. So at this point in late 2018, I was still skeptical of the Whisper Network's existence. I'd heard many stories of individuals spreading rumors and lies, and plenty of malicious behavior was going on behind closed doors. Though I wasn't ready to believe it was a coordinated effort or collusion was involved. Then certain people began openly mentioning the Whisper Network, and my attitude changed. Now, Heather Antos, oh boy, yeah, and she's quite out there too. A member herself on March 16th, right? Did not outright mention the Whisper Network or her involvement, but she made what some took as a veiled threat to those who got on her bad side. And she says, pro tip, industries are small. People talk. Don't be a dick.
The MODOK advice.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Don't be a dick. Oh, is that all?
Simple.
Really?
It's so simple.
Yeah. Thank you, Heather. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Who is the dickhead now, hey?
You know, what? But Heather, Milkshake Girl, Antos' colorful backstory at Marvel and then later Valiant is notorious in the comic industry. A conversation about office rumors spreading and bullying is never complete without someone bringing up a juicy Antos anecdote, and everybody apparently has one. Up until then, I hadn't actually seen actual proof of a larger scheme, but then something changed in 2020. So remember, this is like, again, 4 years ago. All right. So January 8th, Alex the Campy, if any of you guys know this piece of flesh waste, who I would discover is one of the most active Whisper Network members, openly admits that there is a network. I have no idea if this was a slip or brazen attempt to show off her power and influence, but this appeared, right? And this is from her. He's been verboten on the Whisper Network for years. Time to stop whispering and start shouting, right? So this is where essentially, and if you remember a little bit further back in comics, where it's like all these attacks on all these people that were just all of a sudden just ousted from Marvel and DC. And this is roughly around the time where everything becomes super woke, right? Like Batman has to be gay. Superman's son has to be like, you know, bisexual or gay or whatever the hell it is. I don't give a damn anymore. Robin, you know, the little bitch Robin that James Gunn loves so much, right? Because he's a little badass. Has to be friggin' bi or whatever it is, right? So this is around the time where everybody's voices are just, you know, shouting out, oh, we're in the comic industry. And who was it that said, you know, if you don't like my comic, don't buy the book? Gee, I wonder who that was.
Oh, gee. Pretty famous quote. Gail Simone, if memory serves.
Yeah, exactly. Right?
How'd those sale numbers turn out?
Yeah, exactly.
And you know what's funny too is that there was already a gay Batman story, in a comic book story, in existence. We got a request for it in our shop in like 2015. Like, it's been around, but the reason that nobody really knows about it is because that's the percentage of people that bought it. They'd go to the comic shop and they'd ask for it, and then it was on usually special order because it would hardly get any purchases. So it was already in existence. Like the woke stuff they were already fully representing with accurate representation numbers, being that, being gay is like 1% of the population and being trans is 0.01% of the population. Those were accurate representation numbers, but then they made it everywhere. But it was already there.
Exactly.
Accurately.
Yep. About progenitor, let's see. David was the guy that drove over 4 people during the trucker protests in Canada. Oh, okay. Wait a minute. I'm probably missing some context here. Were these people in groups? Okay. All right. Sorry, I'm not getting the context, so I'm just going to skip that just for a second. Yeah, exactly. She hasn't apologized for that. No, she still hasn't. No, she's sticking by her guns. So, because there was an interview later on, it's like, so how do you feel about, the slumping sales in comics and stuff like that? And, it's like, I think she tried to pass it off. It's like, well, things change, opinions change. And, I guess it wasn't the time. Well, something along those lines. It was just like, God, it was just so dismal. Just so bad.
It reminds me of when Frost destroyed G4.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
You don't want to watch our programs? Then don't watch us.
I think I came across a article middle of last year where Gail Simone was asked about declining sales, and she kind of touched on it some. I can't remember the particulars of that article.
She could only buy so many of her own comics,
Yeah, that's right. But the look on her face was just priceless. Just priceless. So then on June 16, 2020, another key member of the same group, Stephanie Cook, someone who DeCampi often praises, converses with, and trades retweets with, makes mention of the same group again without naming it directly. Cook refers driving shitty people out of the industry, which is what the Facebook group has been doing in private for years. This was one of the most direct admissions of the group's mission statement I had ever seen in public. I expect it'll be deleted shortly. But on top of that, she caught that post. Whisper networks are not enough. They only protect people in the know, enough to talk to people with insider knowledge. We need, oh boy, here's a Captain America or sorry, the Falcon line. To do better.
Yes.
Having shitty people out of the industry. So this from Stephanie Cook. All right. We need to do medicine.
Yeah, it's alarming that a lot of Marvel projects have these quotes like in them. You've got this Falcon.
I'm sure that's just a coincidence.
Yeah, no.
Oh yeah, no, it's
comic book industry.
Total, total
We
coincidence.
need to do
What are
better.
you talking about? Yeah.
And that's where the DMs and stuff happens. People like grifters, radical lefties, people that know they have to use each other in some sort of parasitic relationship to survive because they don't have the numbers, they don't have the support. That's how they operate. And then they go and they just wreak havoc. And they admit it. This is such a great article because it's so clear what they do. They just slander your reputation. That's the way they do it. That's the weapon. So.
Yep. That's right. God, I hate these people.
But you're an asshole.
It's an interesting parallel. It's not quite related, but I am reminded of the anime voice actors. If anybody out there has ever been into anime and ever gone to a convention, you're probably familiar with the name Vic Mignogna.
Yep.
Because he was driven. Yeah, he was pretty much canceled. Lost work, lost jobs, canceled from conventions one after the other. I think there's a handful of conventions now that will still have them.
Exactly. Yep.
But yeah, it's the same mentality. It's the same mindset.
It is 100%. So now eventually everything I had heard and read was confirmed by any shadow of a doubt that after I gained access to their private Facebook group, this is the place where the network, the Whisper Network, had been colluding for years. And although their activity is not confirmed confirmed to just this site. From what I can tell, this was where they met first and started their coordinated campaign, right? So, Comic Book Women, that's the private group, right? Where they all ended up meeting up. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. This is where they met up. And this is where they started coordinating. Oh boy, and you can see like all the little freaking faces in the bottom there because and most of them are all part of this. So before we move on, we're just going to take a brief commercial break, wet the palate a little bit, and we'll carry on with this.
When you want a taste of America, and we got a culinary treat for you, Americanized beef is the way to go. If you take a bite into our ribeye steak, you'll no longer feel like a special snowflake. Americanized beef, make America taste great.
I'm America the cow, and I put the red in red, white, and blue. Eat me. Don't be a commie.
Americanized beef. Make America taste great again. Only at Omega Mart.
Try that blue steak.
There we go.
Yeah, there's two of those slices of beef I'm not going to touch.
Yeah, they look a little older, whatever.
A little sketchy there.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, just slightly. There you go. Stoner Poopas, moo. Now we need to eat a moo now. Yeah, do it. Exactly. It's tasty. It's for America. So, yes, blue beef. That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah,
If you don't eat it. That's right. If you don't eat it, you're not a patriot. So that's all I can say about that.
Right.
If you don't eat cow American beef, then you ain't. What does he say? You ain't black. Fucking Biden.
That's
He's
right.
Oh, wow.
That's right.
I'm President Trump, and I approve this message.
Don't ask me how I made that voice clip. All I can say is I got Flip City Magazine to thank for that. So, and they know exactly what I mean. So, thank God. Oh, guys over at Flip City Magazine. I love you guys. I really do. So, so that being said, for some odd reason, my computer's like wigging out on me, but that's okay. I don't care. So again, for you guys out there, if you click on the link below, there is a subscription to Flip City Magazine, the cracked or mad magazine of our time. So down below, there is a link to go get your subscription, and for 10% off, just type in the code CRC, that's Comic Relief Crusader, for 10% off of your magazine subscription to Flip City Magazine, making and mocking the woke for like 4 years now. So Flip City Magazine, thank you very much for being here and listening in. I really appreciate you guys, man. Really appreciate it. Awesome stuff. So, okay, now back to the article. So, now, at present time, there are 440 members, of the secret Facebook group called Comic Book Women. Now, from what I can tell, there are a few regular users, though many of them have never posted, right? Because, of course, hey, you got lurkers and stuff like that, right? So the secret Facebook groups offer the same level of privacy as closed groups, if any of you are familiar with how Facebook is run, right? you don't necessarily, you won't necessarily be able to find this, unless you're invited to it, because there are a lot of very secret and very private groups on Facebook, right? If there's a way to find them, hey, all the power to you if you know how to. But these groups, they operate under a cloak of invisibility. No one can search for the secret group or even request to join them. The only way to get in is to know someone who can invite you. Everything shared in a secret group is visible only to its members, right? Now, these members, because I know Al Nickerson, really good guy, really great guy, friend of mine. These are some of the members that are in this network. Okay, you have Gail Simone, yes, that shining bastion of womanhood. Zoe Quinn, you have Alex Acampi, Magdalene Francis. You also got Heidi McDonald. Oh, you know what? I'm going to point out, Gail Simone, for example, she writer at DC Comics at that time, right? Let's see, Alex Acampi, let's see, County Day School. Oh, geez, look at that. Magdalene Francis, freelance writer at Marvel. Ooh, Marvel, really? Wow, how's that going for you, Marvel? Heidi McDonald, editor-in-chief at the Comics Beat, which is a quote-unquote news for entertainment and comic stuff. All right, just to let you guys know. Tamara Bonvillain. Wow, you could make up that name anymore. No, exactly.
Perfect.
I'm expecting to see like Mugatu from Zoolander next.
Yeah, exactly, right? She works at the Joe Kubert School of Cartoon and Graphic Art. Oh, man. That's a shame.
Molding and shaping the next generation of comic book artists, I'm sure.
Yeah. Man, and the Joe Kubert School used to be such a like a paragon school of learning, comic art and how to do everything, like in sequential art and stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, it was pretty much like, as far as I know, on par with the I was going to say Will Wrightson School, but it's not Will Wrightson. Al Nickerson knows because he went to that school. Guy that wrote The Spirit. Why am I drawing a blank? No, not Frank Miller. Dang it. I can't remember the name of the school now. Legend. No, but you're getting closer. No.
I know, to the interwebs.
I know. Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate it. So these are some of the guys, some of the gals that are working, right? So there you go. A secret group includes a list of whose actions and connections speak for themselves. So Zoe Quinn, Gail Simone, Alex Acampi, Heather Antos, or AKA Heather Marie, okay? Mags Visaggio, AKA Magdalene Francis, okay? Yeah, oh God, yeah. Mags,
there it is.
Yeah.
Will Eisner.
Will Eisner, yes, exactly. Just as you chimed in, Will Eisner. Yeah, it was School of Visual Arts, exactly. I mean, as far as I know, and Al, you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, that pretty much the Joe Kubert School was pretty much on par with the Will Eisner School. I think maybe Will Eisner was a bit better as far as I know, but I mean, it was up there, and they're all sneaking in, So, and several key members of the group are women who work in the comics media and can be used to run damage control, including women like Heidi McDonald of Comics Beat. Woo, Comics Beat. Geez, another big website that likes to tote like they know what they're talking about when it comes to anything in entertainment and comics. So, just to let you people out there know that don't trust these sites. They all have people that have snuck in and infiltrated. They have contacts outside of the secret network as well, with some male allies in both comics and the media. Just the fact that all of these folks are secretly linked in a private network came as a shock to me, considering their reputations and their accusations that they've made. Immediately, I began to connect the dots. And Hunty, how's it going, man? Or, sorry, not man. Excuse my pronoun slip. How's it going, ma'am? because Hunty's a woman. So
I'd be the first to venture that Bleeding Cool is also a part of this. Because Bleeding Cool that's very left, and they've attacked me, they've attacked several others, and I've seen them just make stuff up. And it's like, just like how the Whisper Network is so damning. That was my experience dealing with the mainstream guys, is that like if a bad word about you is said on Bleeding Cool, then all associations dropped, you're gone, can't have anything to do with you. It's like the word of God. So I would not doubt in the slightest that they've got a Bleeding Cool contact.
And comic book news on top of that. So, and hey, Carla, nice to see you here. You finally made it.
Hello.
Thank you. And thanks for being here. So our Kiwi all the way from New Zealand. So how's it going? Hunty says, yeah, I don't mind, but for the meme, it's ma'am. And she does the hair flip. So I'm sorry. Don't hurt me. So yes. So again, we have some more people here. Heather Einhorn.
3 Heathers.
Yeah, exactly. 3 Heathers. Wow.
The Heathers.
Yeah, exactly. Einhorn. Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel. So thank you. You got that joke. There we go.
Oh yeah, canceled Ace Ventura part.
Exactly. Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel. Oh my god.
Plunger to the mouth.
Exactly. Founder, CEO, and owner at Einhorn's Epic Productions. Okay, so remember, please, all of you guys in the chat, remember these names. Remember these companies and stuff like that. Heather Marie, senior editor at Valiant, and that's New Valiant, not old.
At that time, because I think she's left the heap of ashes that was Valiant.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, more than likely. I liked it when Jim Shooter was running it. Heather Keneally, I'm guessing I'm pronouncing that right. Co-writer at Line Forge. Okay, so I've never heard of Line Forge, but well, now we know, right? So now they denied for years that they coordinate their actions in private, and yet they always coincidentally appear on Twitter, retweeting and amplifying each other's accusations, signal boosting one another, and helping them gain traction. And their allies in the media, Bleeding Cool and CBR.
Hey, what did I say?
Yeah.
Yep. Called it.
And CBR.
And CBR specifically will turn those same tweets into stories almost instantly and with no fact checking or verification, sometimes within the hour. Oh boy, kind of curious how that happens so quickly.
Yep, I can attest to that. There's no fact checking at all.
Wow. So now she goes on to say, I'm going to start explaining who the key actors are and from my perspective, how they coordinate these attacks, right? Because everybody wants to know, right? Of course you do. And hell, Snake Messiah, how's it going, man? Nice to see ya. It's about time you showed up, man. I know you're slow and all that, but that's okay. At least you're here. So now, these are the key actors, okay? So there are too many people to focus on at once, so I will have to break them down into several posts. But I will start with one of the clear group leaders, in my opinion, okay? And that person is Alex DeCampi. She's well-connected, despite never being a part of the big two, which would be Marvel and DC, since from what I've been told, management is well aware of her bullying, harassment, rumor spreading, and unethical behavior that go back years. And depending on who you talk to, she's almost as notorious as Antos or Tess Fowler. She just wrapped up a graphic novel campaign on Kickstarter with David Bowie's son, the Hollywood film director Duncan Jones. Ooh, let's remember that name. It grossed over $366,000. All the while, she makes baseless accusations while demanding transparency from everybody else. To which she goes, comic publishers need an independent, dedicated HR person who victims can confidentially and safely approach when their freelancers harass colleagues and fans, and there need to be real consequences attached to those reports. But that would involve admitting a problem exists. Oh, yeah. Create the problem and offer the solution, right? Because that's usually how it goes. Now, I'll take you into their private network. 2 years ago, on May 13th, 2018, DeCampi launched a private campaign to target an independent creator, claiming she was using her connections to have a Simon & Schuster book, or Simon & Schuster canceled their book. Sorry about that. So DeCampi says, hey, folks, so apparently Richard Meyer's shitty graphic novel, Jawbreakers, is going to be distributed by Simon & Schuster. I have all those folks on mute for sanity reasons, but anyone finds out more details on this, please let me know so I can talk to my folks at S&S, Simon & Schuster, and try to stop that shit from happening. Though, if you've sailed through the weekend blissfully unaware of this, comics' latest trash fire, for all that's holy, do not go back and Google it. It's not worth it. Just turds being turds. Wow. And then everybody, of course, out of the woodwork, like Tamara, I saw someone said this, but who knows how true it is. They're also threatening to sue Mark Wade, him or someone involved, using some FTC regulation. They are delusional people, so don't know if that's actually happening or not. Wow, trying to sue Mark Wade. He's also apparently trying to start his own company called Splatto. So Anna says, yeah, the Bleeding Cool article says this. So, so they're like instantly, if they don't like your book, well, we're just going to use our connections to just, cancel you. Make sure you just can't publish whatsoever. That's what they do.
And see, and also note that's the whole bad reputation thing. They just paint bad reputation bad, just bad, bad, bad all over you. There's no like logical, innocent before guilty, any kind of American value in that. It's always like, oh, I think this person sucks. And so obviously all of you do too now, my minions. Go, minions!
Pride in the court of public opinion.
Yes.
Go, my pretties! Isn't that going to shit all over the network?
I love that. I love the Wicked Witch. It's an appeal to authority, and a lot of the people that are under them that they recruit are like wanting for jobs or wanting to climb the ladder, right? And that's one thing the comics industry doesn't have because it's so built on nepotism. So this is how people like get their jobs. They're like, oh, I'm going to play the good doggy and get a pat on the back and suck up to this person for a couple of years, and then I'll get a job. That's kind of how that works too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If I suck at the proverbial tit, I'll eventually get some milk that'll nourish me.
Yes.
Oh, lovely.
And
Yeah.
funny, coincidentally, around this same time, all of the publishers started hiring based on social media clout, not talent. I remember having a conversation with Jim Shooter about this, and we were both like, what the hell is going on? Like, yeah, because I saw it, he saw it, everybody saw it, all the shit was happening at all the shows. It was very obvious. Around 2015, 2016, Marvel dropped their rates. They started outsourcing all the talent. So all of the creatives at the same time were being bottlenecked financially, and they had to depend on the convention money to even get by. Like drawing Harley Quinn for 150 a page, 5 pages a week is only like 40,000 a year. It's not enough. So they have to suck on the convention teat to make ends meet. And then this happened on top of it, on top of them being replaced by new talent who had social media clout. So that's an interesting puzzle piece because they are so dependent on social media reputation, aren't they? Kind of makes you think that it kind of lines up with them hiring whoever has the most clout, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Because as much clout as you have, or at least if you're in that network, I mean, then it makes kind of sense that over the past few years, the art in like most of these comics have been like downright abysmal and shitty.
Yep.
Like, because I'm wondering, like, over the past few years, it's like, what the hell are the editors over at Marvel or DC doing? Most of this crap looks like it's been drawn by like a 4-year-old.
Yeah,
like
I saw it when I was keeping up with Valiant from 92 to 94, and after 94, oh, the art went just downhill. It was horrific.
It does. Yeah. And I'm sure it's the same thing over at Image too. I mean, it's gotta be. It has to be, right? I mean, because if you've seen like most of the stuff like Eric Larson has put out over the past couple of years and whatnot, it really makes you question. Like, I mean, dude's gone like far left by far, but it seems like most of the up and ups have just gone full blown woke. I mean, I know IDW had.
It's hard to make a coffee shop where two superheroes are sitting around talking about their feelings look really eye-popping and engaging.
Wow.
Well, you know,
thrills.
Image, it was the year, I'm trying to think exactly what year it was. I first read about it in 2020. So it was around that time, I imagine, the Image Expo that they would have every year. Well, Eric Larson's always been left wing. Like he's always been that way his whole life. So I couldn't necessarily say he was any more left because of modern, politics during our age. But Image itself donated like $100,000 to Planned Parenthood, and they announced this at their Image Expo at about that same year. And Gail Simone, about 2 years earlier, with Cat Staggs, had just released their title. I forget, it was about a cop. So yeah, you can start to connect the dots and see. But yes, Image is it was outwardly left leaning. Like they didn't donate to any causes on the right. They were donating to Planned Parenthood, and they were proud to do so. And then at the same time, DC was donating to BLM. They were having auctions on Twitter. I believe Gail Simone was part of that with Jim Lee, and I think it was 2020. So there's a lot of money being exchanged at this time as well. That's important to note. Like millions of dollars of money.
Crazy.
It's hard to believe Jim Lee has gone that dumb. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Jim Lee's always been left. Yeah, he's a lefty guy. He wears his mask while he drives a car.
Oh, jeez. Wow. Well, that explains everything. And I love his artwork. Damn it, Jim. Jeez.
I know. He's very, very talented guy. But he's a mask driver.
So Adventure Progenitor says, okay, so what happened with Image and that union thing? That's a good question. Because it was something along the lines of people were complaining, especially to Image, that they weren't getting paid as much as they should have. And I think Eric Larson was in charge of the finances, as far as I remember. I'm not entirely sure of that, but I'm gonna have to look into that.
Yeah.
So
I believe he is the CFO, I think, of Image. And honestly, Eric's a pretty nice guy. But yeah, I mean, as far as a left-leaning bias in the industry, it's very obviously there.
Oh God,
yeah,
exactly. So I only met him once, and yeah. I mean, he seems like a nice guy, but I was asking him questions and stuff like that. He didn't exactly want to feel like talking or anything like that, but whatever. I don't care. Let's see, Rocket the Brave. Hey, dude, how's it going, man? Nice to see you. So glad you could join us. So now, in addition to contacting the publisher, others in the Whisper Network coordinated their efforts to contact media outlets to have the narrative changed according to the posts in this thread. Again, in my opinion, this could end up as defamation or notorious interference case, and as many implications regarding media bias as well. Now, the following month, on June 23rd, 2018, DeCampi posted private text messages between herself and writer Max Bemis in what appeared to be an attempt to damage his career. Now, despite Bemis being mentally ill, unfortunately, he was diagnosed with bipolar disorder in 2014, which is, pretty sad. DeCampi still posted the private messages with malicious intent, in my opinion. According to US and UK law, this is an actionable offense, posting private messages without both parties consenting. Wow. And it goes like this, right? Max fucking Bemis, ladies and non-binary folk, of course, because you have to add that in, because he's the real victim here. I'm sorry, Max. Shitcoin is no longer accepted at this establishment. I'm the blue messages. Okay. Let's see. Alex, thanks for recommending Sean. He seems like good people and is helping a lot. Mainly pursued him further because of your good vibes. So thanks. I hope you're well out there. Many apologies for stress and still dying to write with you. To which he responds, okay, the writing together isn't going to happen for a while, if ever. That's okay. I guess we'll always wonder why it didn't materialize. And it does make me sad as a super fan, but I couldn't be prouder. You deserve a full schedule. I'm just glad to be a footnote in it, frankly. It didn't materialize because your behavior was incompatible with a professional collaboration. What? To which he goes, I can understand that. This is not about my past. This is about your inability to understand and respect boundaries with someone you barely know. To which he says, but Alex didn't even write the book. The reaction would have been the same if it was anyone else. I was the only one writing. I couldn't hear back about you specifically because you rule. I could cry. I just feel kind of bullied by you, but everything's a learning experience. Either way, I think you're brilliant. Hey, funny thing about emotional abusers, they love to make themselves out to be the victims, which is what you are doing here, rather than listening and realizing you should have blah, 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 right? So, like, wow.
Still complimenting her at the end.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's being a perfect gentleman. And she's just trying to flip this all around. It's like,
I think you're brilliant.
What?
I don't know what you're doing. All right.
Yeah. So, yeah, emotional abuse. I'm legit confused. I do think I was inappropriate. Yeah, because you can't read it because it's kind of clipped.
That rhymed.
Yeah, it did kind of. Yeah. Goodbye, Max. Do not contact me again. Wow. This is sad. This is really, really sad. 2 months later, on August 26, 2018, DeCampi singled out Cullen Bunn for a private bullying campaign, all in the attempt to damage his career, in my opinion. There was an attempt to loosely link Bunn to Comicsgate, even in the flimsiest way, hoping it would prevent him from earning income if the rumors spread far enough. Publicly and privately, this was one of the Whisper Network's primary tactics, right? Wow. So posting it all, yeah, I just saw this as well. Saw indeed, ignoring it makes it go away for you. Those in the crosshairs will still get hit. If you can ignore it, you are privileged. No, wow, of course you are, yeah. Well, at least for now, I don't have to feel like I should read all those collected Sixth Gun editions. Jeez.
Man, what a big echo chamber.
Yeah. I know, right?
That's
God. I stopped following him just recently because I saw him following one too many people in that Comicsgate orbit, though I don't remember who specifically at the moment. Yeah, because heaven forbid you follow a friend or anything like that, right? Even though they might be outed or anything like that. Like
guilt by association.
Exactly, right?
Yes, very guilty before proven innocent. Very anti-American.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're guilty of wrong thing, therefore you must be canceled.
Yep.
Exactly.
There's no investigation happens, and they know that there's some kind of marketing trick that it's like I forget the name of it, but it's an intimidation tactic, and it's like once you get 20% of the people to bow, the rest follow. So like Kat Staggs up there, she works with Gail Simone. She's a very well-established artist. She's very talented. You have 20% of the industry's names come out, then all the fans, which is what they're trying to do, then follow suit. It's a manipulative thing.
It is totally.
You only need 20%, and the rest follow.
Let's see. Notice which names keep on popping up. Yeah, let's notice this. Then most recently on April 17, 2020, DeCampi began spreading unverified rumors that Dynamite Comics was not paying their contractors. This was malicious, in my opinion, and was only designed to hurt the reputation of the company. Yeah, because I always kind of wondered what happened to Dynamite Comics.
Oh, wow, that's interesting.
Is Campy like the Grand Wizard or something?
Yeah, it seems like. So I wonder if she has a hood.
Right.
So, yeah.
If this is true, this would answer. See, Dynamite Comics was involved in the initial funding of Comicsgate, right? So, and then they ended up donating to BLM and other things, which is weird. But there was this war going on between them that it makes sense that they would want to get involved in Comicsgate to help those repercussions financially.
Oh, wow.
Does that make sense?
Jeez.
This goes kind of deep. It goes pretty deep there.
I think I follow some of that because I kind of remember something. I forget the artist, but it was somebody who was trying to get a book published, but somebody else kind of went to the company and blocked the book.
That's the whole Mark Wade thing, I think. And then, so Dynamite got involved and was helping fund Ethan Van Sciver with his Cyberfrog. Actually, it's a property of, I think, Dynamite's Cyberfrog. And they were helping with him with his fulfillment and stuff. But it was kind of in the background. Like, they didn't say anything because they didn't want to be associated with it. Then it got kind of revealed around 2020 was the year, I believe, or 2021, that they were involved in Comicsgate. This was Nick Barucci, the CEO, that was friends. And then Ethan and him had a falling out. Ethan has a falling out with everybody. But if you connect the threads, I know, but if you connect the dots here, so if this was going on in the background with Dynamite and they were already at war with these guys, it adds merit to the fact that it's just competition based, because Dynamite isn't, whatever Nick Barucci's personal feelings are, they ended up donating a bunch of CG covers to BLM and like 3 or 4 other leftist charities. Like I said, there's a lot of charities involved and money going through into the charity. So obviously the whole company isn't like right leaning. So it caused people to wonder if it's just a farce. So this would create a good explanation as to why Dynamite even got involved in the first place. Maybe these guys were going after them. So they started spreading their fingers into Comicsgate to try to get funding elsewhere. Does that make sense? Be the opposed opposition kind of thing?
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, like smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
There's it's like the mafia, isn't it? It's like crazy in there.
It is. 100%. But again, she provides no evidence to her claims, so to my knowledge, to which she posts, "Hey folks, I heard from artist friends that Dynamite has basically stopped paying freelancers and its accounting department isn't responding to anyone. So if you're waiting on checks from them or working away on books for them, assuming they'll pay, maybe make a backup plan," right? It's just coming up with this bullshit friggin' just made up stories and just putting it out there, and then all these stupid retarded friggin' sheeple just go ahead and it's like, oh my god, well, you're on the inside, you're just such a big person, you got all this clout, it must be true. Like, for the fuck's sake. And then of course, see what ends up happening. Oh no, it's just awful. Oh, I'm so surprised. Narrowed his voice, was actually not surprised at all, even a little bit. Fingers crossed that people relying on the income will be okay. It's like, oh god. See? And of course you can see, like, in this Eva Debbie Hopkins, you can just see in her little friggin' avatar here, BLM, right? Of course, my god, will you use some brains, people? It's almost like taking 300,000 from even Van Sciver wasn't worth it. Oh my god, really? Boy, Ethan, what are you doing, man? No, I'm just kidding. Killy Fast Project. Once Molly moved to DC, they stopped hiring me. It's almost like the editorial, run by men, didn't think about hiring women. I just want to slap the living crap out of these people, but I can't. Anyway, but lately, DeCampi hasn't even been hiding her accusations and malicious behavior. It's just like no one is calling her out on it.
There you go. I called it.
CEO of Dynamite popped into a Comic Skate stream to donate money. Oh, geez, please consider that in the future. My. Oh, my God.
Sounds like begging to me.
Yeah.
Exactly. Here's my little big toe. Suck on it. You know you want to. So, yeah, exactly. Brain and brain. Brian and brain. What is Brian? Bray or Bray? Oh, God, I can't read today. I swear to God. So, what Snort said. Exactly. So, Event Progenitor says, Star Citizen is a grand idea, but the CEO lacks the means to finish the project. So it's a don't expect beyond what it is right now. EVE Online did a better job starting small then growing larger. Okay, I think I know what you're talking about, but okay. Vince, no snorted poopers. We never do that. Quote that episode. No, exactly. We do not. So, God. So on June 25th, 2020, DeCampi publicly accused DC Comics writer Scott Snyder of lying when he pledged not to abuse, harass, or groom women. Again, DeCampi offered no proof of Snyder committing any sex crimes or that he was planning to commit a crime in the future. Here is a link to Bleeding Cool, and I can hopefully provide that link later on, publishing her claim that she doesn't believe Scott would say no to abusing, grooming, or harassing women. Sorry about that. DeCampi, this is cute, but one, we don't believe you, and two, it goes way beyond this to things like speaking up and using your privilege to push change when you see that nobody of marginalized backgrounds are being hired as creators by a particular office, or they're only given token books. Oh my God. There's been plenty of people of marginalized backgrounds that have been hired by Marvel and DC over the years. For the love of God, give me a break. Apparently, these people do not know comics history whatsoever because, let's see. I seem to remember, oh God, I'm trying to remember way back when in the 70s when Iron Fist and
Luke Cage
came out, and I believe the artist was a black guy, and I'm trying to remember his name, but for the life of me, the name escapes me. We've had various people from various backgrounds, black people, Latino people, friggin' for the love of God, let's put it this way. One of the most popular writers ever to write an extremely popular series, G.I. Joe. Can anyone remember that person's name? Anyone? Gee.
No, but I can say that her timeline, so it's interesting to note who Scott Snyder is and also her time frame. So to say that they've only been given token books in the year 2020, or I think this was the year, it was wrong, because in 2015 and 16, they already had the Iron Man, what's her name? Yuri or something. They had already replaced Iron Man.
Ironheart, Riri Williams,
Riri Williams, and they had already done this several times over by this point. And then secondly, Scott Snyder is one of the most successful men in the whole damn industry. He makes a grip of money. He is very widely revered. So it's interesting that they targeted him. Out of all of the people, they went for one of the big shots right there. That's what that is.
Needs to be taken down a peg.
And Scott is a very shy guy. He's very shy. He keeps to himself. He's actually very reserved. I don't even in a million years imagine him even like talking to a woman at, like going to a party or anything like that. Like, no, no
Yeah.
way
Yeah.
did he ever. No, he's very, very professional and very reserved. He goes to shows, he keeps to himself. He pals around with Capullo. They're the Batman guys. So
Wow.
that's yeah, very, very successful Batman guys.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
So DeCampi and the Zoe Quinn of comic book media. Okay. So what I've seen in her, DeCampi has deep personal relationships with certain members of the comic book media, which I believe is why she feels emboldened to do so and say anything she wants with no fear of consequence. And from my perspective, DeCampi mirrors her Whisper Network comrade Zoe Quinn in many ways, whose deep personal relationship with the gaming media are well documented too. Oh God, yeah, exactly. Oh Jesus. The Star Wars game that she got involved with. Just oh God. Anyway, that's another story. The glowing praise about the DeCampi from certain outlets paints a picture. Take the following excerpts, more like hagiographies, for example, which are from Rich Johnson at Bleeding Cool. Okay, the article here. Duncan Jones' next project is a graphic novel titled Maddie. I'm hoping I'm reading that right.
Titled, not titled.
Oh, titled. I'm thinking Titillating Tuesdays. Sorry. So that's my other show. Damn it. Titled Maddie. Yeah. Oh, God. This is why it's a Friday. This is why we ease into the weekend. Moon and Mute director Duncan Jones has committed to making a movie based on the 2080 comic book Rogue Trooper. But the last update we got on that project was back in January 2019. While that project appears to be stalling a bit, Jones is now working with legendary comic creator, oh God, legendary, whatever, and innovator.
Former Bleeding Cool columnist. Oh my God.
Alex DeCampi on a new sci-fi graphic novel that is to form the third part of his thematic sci-fi trilogy following Moon and Mute, named Maddie, Once Upon a Time in the Future. Okay, well, here's the thing. This is like March 2020. Has anybody seen this movie yet? It's 2024 now.
Don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
No.
Gee, I wonder what happened. I can't imagine what could have possibly happened.
Came to a grinding halt. No.
If you go back and you kind of pay attention to Bleeding Cool, which I mean, you can if you want to have your eyes bleed, but they are constantly, they're kind of the go-to source. Like I said at the time, they were like the word of God. And if you had a bad word about you, it was your death. And Rich Johnson is the owner of it, who also doesn't claim to be a journalist, by the way. But he was also the one that attacked us. The Bleeding Cool is a lot of news rotating around who is getting what position and what's coming out and what to pay attention to and what to disavow.
Right.
That's kind of like their whole mode of operation, so that that's my personal take. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alex DeCampi, Ryan Howe, and D. Cuniff, whatever, and D. Somebody launch a Bad Karma comic. Oh, wow. How aptly titled. Can there be two comic books in this town called Bad Karma? Seems so. There was the 2015 Dynamite Publisher creator-owned anthology put together by Alex Grecian, Jeremy Hone, B. Claymore, and Seth Peck. And now there's a new Bad Karma in town from Alex DeCampi, Ryan Howe, and D. whatever. D. I don't give a shit.
Kofefi.
Kentucky. Sure. Published by a bunch of guys that I don't give two shits about. Pay what you want. Panel Syndicate digital publisher DeCampi is one of the greatest living comic book writers.
No, Scott Snyder is. No, Scott Snyder is.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Hands down.
Exactly.
Yep.
Oh, hell. You know what? I mean, God, I wouldn't even go that. Jeez. I would even say like, oh, I don't know, like let's throw some good comic book writers out there. I don't know, like say maybe Walt Simonson during his Thor run. I could be wrong. John Byron, he's written some really fantastical stories and whatnot. Oh, here's another one. Maybe Chris Claremont.
Yeah,
Those are legendary.
Claremont.
Yeah, those are legendary comic book writers. Frig.
Yeah. It's going to be really sad if Scott, because he was writing during this era, doesn't go down as one of the best, though, because he has so many fans, and if this really does tarnish that, I'm pretty sure he broke off and went indie and released his own thing, which is after this, which is interesting to know. And he and Capullo, like I said, they travel everywhere together, and Greg also after. That must have been 2016. He broke off and went with McFarlane and did Rebirth, and then he's been doing his own. So you can watch them kind of disperse away from this, and it's going to be really sad if Scott doesn't get that credit because of this crap that was going on. Because he really was. I mean, he has a huge following because he's done a very good job, and he's a very reserved, shy, sweet guy. So this is horrible to read. It hurts in the feels and the fifis.
Although she's managed to work in relative obscurity, how can you be the greatest living comic book writer and live in obscurity? Like, come on. This is two opposites. For God's sake, you're not Marv Wolfman. Oh, God. Anyway, including a forgotten by everyone but me look at digital comic creation called The Uncanny Valley Girl for Bleeding Cool. Now she, Ryan, and Dee have a new comic book together, and it's out now. Panel Syndicate states, "We are proud to welcome authors Alex DeCampi, Ryan, and blah, 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 blah." For frig's sake, can you smell the bullshit? Because I can. I know I can. So, yeah, now I want to be entitled. Oh, my God. Exactly. Sorry. Mind is just melting. Just having to read about these people, but that's okay. The more you guys know out there, the better. And lately, her online bullying and harassment have gotten even more brazen. Most recently, on June 25th, 2020, DeCampi all but told her Twitter followers to DM her if she wanted to hear rumors about the jerks whose careers she had managed to or she'd like to damage. This sort of opens casual comments on destroying people's livelihoods that has still gone unchecked, right? Children, you can just DM me rather than playing Guess the Jerk in my mentions. Oh boy, wow. So malicious tweets like this regularly go unchecked because DeCampi knows her vast media contacts, allies to the Whisper Network, won't hold her accountable. And while others have their careers destroyed, she remains untouched and never faces any scrutiny or is asked to even back up any of her claims. The theory goes something like this. Anyone in comic book media is already in the Whisper Network's pocket or is simply too cowardly to speak up. Anyone outside the comic book media won't pay attention to this disgusting behavior because the comic industry is simply too small to make a national story out of it. But make no mistake, if Jim Lee or Joe Quesada publicly made a statement like this, every media outlet on the globe would be reporting it within the hour, and whose men would be expected to resign. They don't have privileges that the Whisper Network provides. Wow, that's true. Jeez. But then again, Joe Quesada, valiantly stepped down at Marvel, however. So... oh God, and I just hate to know what the new management. Well, I mean, we kind of know what the new management is like anyway, but yeah, damn. So now things to watch for when the story goes public. Okay, so who defends Alex DeCampi and the rest of the Whisper Network? Okay, her most vocal supporters will very likely be Whisper Network allies or in the network itself. Which comic book media outlets will totally ignore this story? If this or someone outside the Whisper Network, it would generate weeks of news. But for DeCampi, most comic book news outlets will undoubtedly protect her. And finally, who at Marvel, DC, and other companies will take action? Well, I can tell you right now, nobody really. A wider HR effort is needed to stop bullying, harassment, rumor spreading, and lying, and other forms of sabotaging the network of fellow creators, especially in cases where there is no evidence. And social media is clearly being weaponized by members of this Whisper network. If anything from this series of articles, I hope a level of professionalism returns to comics and the media industry, and that folks are held accountable for malicious behavior designed to destroy peers and advance their own careers, right? So, final words here, and I know, guys, this has been a very, very long article, but you know, to quote G.I. Joe, you know, knowing is half the battle. All right. And there is a point that I also bring this news article up, and it doesn't really necessarily have to do with comics whatsoever, right? Although this is a big part of it, you know, it goes a little bit further, right? So now that you've been exposed, what narrative will the Whisper Network and their allies in the media run with? We only target right-wing extremists, or we only target sexual predators, is their logical defense. Now, in my opinion, writes Penny, and not the Penny that's in the chat, but you know who I mean. In my opinion, these will be the gines they'll use to justify their lies, bullying, and collusion, but this is simply untrue. It may have been slightly more true in 2016. Well, I mean, it's definitely more true now, when the targets were almost exclusively on the right, though I would argue few were quote unquote extreme. But in 2020 and definitely 2024, the Whisper Network is regularly targeting liberals. And why not? Most of their conservative creators have been effectively soft blacklisted from the industry thanks to their ongoing efforts. There is effectively no right-leaning creator left remaining in the industry to attack. But this is not over. And apparently she has more evidence, and it continues to pour in from various sources. And as you can see, there are many more files to be opened. And apparently, well, wow, she's got some more files on. Ooh, more people. Amy Chu, Marissa Louise, I'm not even going to repeat that because that sounds like Czechoslovakia or something like that. Rachel Reed, Heather Antos, Stephanie Cook, Coleman. I'm not exactly sure which Coleman that would be. De Guzman. Let's see. Pantozzi, Clunan, Tess Fowler, Alana Marie. Wow. Some more exposés, I'm guessing, along the way, right? So, in the meantime, if you please, share this article. Use this hashtag Heprocalypse. Spread the word. Share the stories and start the conversations. Keep your eyes on certain Twitter feeds. Yeah, which I definitely have, because apparently there was a new book that was going to drop, or that is going to drop at IDW. You know, speaking about the brave new characters that are in the Star Trek universe. And it's by one of these people on top of that, right? And immediately, who picks it up? Well, definitely another Twitter feed that's associated with them. So, you know, and this is another reason why I picked this article. And let other folks know how you feel about the Whisper Network in comics. Sunlight is the best disinfectant, and we need a lot more light shining on this problem if it's ever going to get solved. So, you know what? If you want to read the article for yourself, there is the link in the chat. Simple as that.
Now I'm kind of curious. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you go ahead first, then I'll say something.
I was actually kind of curious. I haven't kept up with this. This is a 4-year-old article, right? I wonder if there's been an update to it.
Well, I'm going to look into it. And here's the thing, because I want to get more people on, like Al Nickerson. And Al, if you're still in the chat, wow, I would love to get you on again, to go through, some of the stuff that you had mentioned to me, because I would love to get you back on again. Hey, we need to make a date of it. Or like Mindy, I would love you and Mike to tell your stories of what you got out there. Flip City Magazine. If you guys are still in the chat, and again, check out their subscription, CRC, for 10% off. If you have stories like this, I want to get it out there. I know I'm never going to get probably like Ethan Van Sciver on or anything like that, but God, I would love to get Jim Shooter's take on all of this, because dude was legend at Marvel. I would love to get some big names to be able to share and get their stories out, because this is another reason why I do this channel, because I want to get people's voices out there and expose all this bull crap that's going on. Because I used to enjoy reading comics. Like, I just bought a bunch of old ones from like the 80s and the 90s, and I loved reading them. They were awesome stories. I didn't care if it was Marvel or DC or Image or whatever. It was fun stories, and now I can't even the only new ones that I picked up is like, because again, I'm such a nerd, is like, the Transformers ones that are put out by Image now. And because again, like most of you guys know me out there, I'm a Transformers nut, So
I can't even remember the last new
Avatar.
Who
is that? Is that Megatron? No, I know who it is. I could see the steam shooting out of my ears. It's Optimus Prime, you idiot.
Can you do me a big favor? It's in efforts to help clear my name. And on that exact topic, I sent you a couple of messages just now on Facebook of Bleeding Cool articles. And I will show you in like 2 seconds. Well, first you got to go to the articles. So this actually happened to us. And I am convinced that it goes beyond the Whisper Network. And I kind of know who it all is. But yeah, pull them up if you can. It corroborates all of this. And it shows how deep it goes as well. I would very much appreciate that. Thank you very much. You have no idea how hard it's been for 10 years, the same time frame. Yeah, check that out. Is it possible to show on your screen? I don't know. But it's interesting stuff.
Oh yeah, no, it will be. Okay.
Yeah.
1 sec while I log back into Facebook.
Thank you so much.
Because all you got a crappy computer. And no, I shouldn't say that, a crappy computer, but 1 sec.
While you do that, I'll add another layer of wowza to all this, and that's that I firmly believe that a lot of the top talent is addicted to cocaine. That's not even a joke. Like, joke was on it. Was Rob Liefeld came out and admitted that he has been a long-term coke abuser, and so as in addition to you got to ask yourself, like, why do these people do what they do and they cancel others? I think a lot of it's financial, and Bleeding Cool, it'll set the precedence. They'll say, like, check this title out, and then all the flippers, all the retailers, and all the showrunners pay attention, so all the money goes in that direction they point. And then drugs, like straight up, like the entertainments, so here,
because he enjoys that rock and roll kind of comic status.
Yes, yes, a lot of them do. So I sent you the Bleeding Cool articles where you should go to those first if you can. That's the context of this. This is when we got attacked by Bleeding Cool. And we were comic shop owners. I was an artist traveling, and it's funny how they went after the men, because the email that you'll see all these about was actually written by me. And of course, there's no investigation by Bleeding Cool whatsoever. So they started attacking us for months. And when I say they made stuff up, and it's in the article, a leftist slant. They do point to that we were Trump supporters at the time, and to basically stick everybody on us. And they make stuff up. They took it like an old meme from like 2 months prior. But yeah, a meme that Mike posted. And they said that they made it seem like we had just posted it. And so that was misleading. And also the context of this was that we were trying to start up our own show and talk about the Whisper Network having a network, because we didn't even announce the show yet. And I had sent like 30 emails to people that we knew, like talent of, hey, would you want to come to our show? We're starting up a new show. And before it even announced, I was traveling to California. By the time I got back home in Arizona, it was already being blasted by Bleeding Cool, a show that wasn't even announced.
Wow.
And in those articles, you'll see there was a competitive showrunner, Jesse James, and he was also trying to start up his own show. So it was like a secret plug for him. And guess what? He's also a columnist at Bleeding Cool. So he had an inside. So all of a sudden, this random article pops up. And then we're getting slammed. And then Liefeld goes on Facebook and says that my husband's a scammer, and was contacting people pretending he bought out Jimmy J's show. Jimmy J was a showrunner that had a show in Arizona that had just canceled. And guess what? Jesse James ran his after shows. Right. Rob Liefeld was their current guest. So they're all friends. Wow. And Jesse James is a Bleeding Cool supporter. And so this was all, I think, in efforts to cancel our show so that they could put on their own show. And now Jesse James does have a show in Arizona. And he's partnered with Brian Polito, who also has a show the same dates our show is going to be. So they took it's on my YouTube video. I have talk about lack of investigation. Oh, yeah, go ahead. But lack of investigation. There was no investigation. There was no like journalistic reporting. They just made this article. And I have posted since all the messages on YouTube of me emailing people. And I never once said that we bought out the show. But they claimed, and Rob Liefeld claimed, and then that was the death of our show. And in those two pictures you pulled up, it says right there, because he's in the Bleeding Cool article, he's quoting Fabian Nazieza was the one email he said that Mike said it. Mike didn't even say it. And there's a picture I sent you where Fabian commented on that post, should Bleeding Cool be an actual journalistic newspaper, that says, from Fabian, I was contacted by him, but he didn't represent himself through any attachment to Jimmy J's conventions, merely that he was planning to put on a show in Arizona in August. So that what's the word? Proves my innocence right there. But yet no reporting was done on it. And if you search the show, there's all these leftist newspapers, media outlets, just like the Whisper Network does, trashing the show, saying it was a trash fire, saying it never happened, making up all these lies, when my innocence is right there in that one comment.
All right, hold on a second here, because dang it. Okay, there we go.
Computer problems.
It's so mirrored to the Whisper Network. It's more than just the Whisper Network. It's all of the comic book old guard. You know, they have to protect their own. Okay. So it's pretty crazy how deep it goes.
All right, and you got that one. Okay. All right. So we'll go to, one sec. I love when things go to plan.
Now that article was going back.
First article. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm not sure which one is first. If I sent you the first one first or the second one first, I think that offensive one came after.
Okay. Well, I can switch if that's.
There was about 3 articles. I sent you 2. So maybe neither of these are the first one, but yeah.
He lied to me. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, the Facebook post is no longer available, or change of privacy settings. That could be that they have me blocked. Rob Liefeld has me blocked, so I don't know.
Probably. So.
Oh, you know what? They quote to it in their own. Here, they link to it in that article right there. And their attempts to whip up publicity for their new Phoenix comic book show is probably the first article right there.
Wow.
And then it says. Yep,
we
go
looked
ahead.
At the Comic Outlaws run by Mike Wheeler, and their attempts to whip up publicity for their new Phoenix comic book show, intended to be the same Phoenix Comic Book Center as the most established Phoenix Comic Con. They invited Jim Lee, and then shaming him for not actually attending, and then and criticism against them by other comic book professionals, including Rob Liefeld. Wow.
Yeah, and see, the thing with Jim Lee, this is interesting. So we had just gone to, I mentioned California. Actually, I think it was Vegas. We had gone to Vegas for the opening of, System of a Down, the drummer, John Dalmayan. He had Torpedo Comics. It was his grand opening, and we went, and Jim Lee was there. And we had asked him about, attending the show, and his rep said, yeah, get a hold of me and stuff. And we were like, cool. And I only told one person about that interaction. We never made any public posts, and it was not a for sure thing either. We were just saying like, hey, we talked to him. And that was my publisher at the time, JP Roth.
Oh, man.
Next thing I know, Jesse James, next thing I know, Jesse James, a rival comic shop owner who then has a show, he's posting that we announced that Jim Lee came to our show.
Oh, my God, really?
Yes. We never made a post.
Jeez.
Yeah.
More Phoenix Madness with Outlaw Comic Con and their grandma Eleanor's House of Quilts.
There's a story behind that.
Oh my God. Yeah, it must be the heat. How else can you explain the PR mess Phoenix Comic Con got into, or the comic stories that were closing down but then weren't, or for some might be, for the love of God, will you learn to spell? Some might be. No, it's BE, you morons. If they could just work out who owns them, and the comic convention setting up to replace amazing Arizona Comic-Con that may have promised guests, it didn't have. Oh, wow. The latest kerfuffle from this latter show, previously the Wild West Comic-Con, now the Outlaw Comic Con, the shows that got Rob Liefeld so irate. Remember those actions of show organizers, Mike Wheeler? Oh, yeah. Ooh, remember? Do you remember? Yeah. Well, if guests do decline to show, they found a new tactic: get fans to beg. Oh, for the love of God, come on.
Yeah. And Phoenix Comic Con, by the way, was going through serious tax evasion issues with the city of Phoenix. And so,
oh, really?
Yes, at the time. So there were a lot of people mad at Phoenix Comic Con. So they were sending everybody on the attack for any competition rising up.
Okay.
Yeah. There's the first article, the show that got Liefeld so irate. That's the link to the first article, Fan Rampage, the Comic Con Wars of Arizona.
Okay.
We're reading this backwards.
So then this would lead to Liefeld's post, right? Liefeld's tweet, right?
Yeah, probably that first link.
Okay. Yeah, so this from Rob Liefeld. Yeah, a public service announcement for professionals that do comic conventions. I've been contacted by several pros who have been contacted by a guy named Mike Wheeler, who has misrepresented himself as being someone who purchased my buddy Jimmy J's amazing comic convention in Arizona and is claiming to have retained Jimmy's services. Jimmy has no association with this individual and did not sell his blah, 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 whatever the rest says. So
yeah, that's the first article. I can send you the link to that, which actually, it was not Mike that wrote the email to Fabian, which is what he's quoting off of. And two, that second quote from Fabian shows right there our innocence. Yep, never happened. Yeah.
I was contacted by him, but he didn't represent himself through any attachment to Jimmy J's convention. Merely that he was planning to put a show, an Arizona show, on in August. Do you actually know if he is a legit performer and can actually put on a show? Wouldn't want to block a date if it's not going to happen. Okay.
Bad reputation. Don't mess with my Wheeler.
Yeah, and then they but no, continue. Go. There's the fanboy rampage, the first article. Notice it was election, by the election in December 2016.
Oh yeah.
Yes, very politically motivated. And they even mention our politics in the damn article. Excuse my language.
Wow. Oh, and hey, Phantom Boomer Explorers and Canadian Spider-Man. How's it going, man? Nice to see you guys here. Let's see. Oh, and Jenna Messer Raven is also here. TMZ of Comic Cons. Yeah, exactly. Frank. Yeah, then it goes into this Fanboy Rampage, the Comic Con Wars of Arizona. Comics and widely differing versions of events. Maybe it's the sun. Didn't they just pretty sick in the Comic Con was comic convention part of an amazing line? Oh, am I roboting? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, just
pretty bad. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Rob Life. Oh, okay, just a hair. Okay, yeah. So basically, straight to the tweet, I guess. And yeah, public super. Okay, contract. Okay, so this is the tweet that Rob Liefeld made. Okay, who has misrepresented himself as being someone who purchased my buddy Jimmy J's amazing comic convention in Arizona and is claiming to have retained Jimmy's services. Oh God, stop saying that's unresponsive, you stupid freaking computer. The amazing conventions, of course it craps out of me. These have only 2 dates in 2017 in Las Vegas and Hawaii. I've received enough inquiries from folks to know I'm Jimmy's friend, and I want to stress that his individual has no ties whatsoever to Jimmy's and his shows. Hope that clears things up.
You tell me the difference between that and what the Whisper Network Facebook posts were like.
So,
yeah, they're bad. They're bad people.
Yeah.
Everyone go make them bad. Yep.
Oh, Rob.
Yep, and that's where they quoted the Fabian Nunez, and they just kept on. So that's how this thing works, and ever since then, we've been dealing with trolls from that era that say, yeah, and people that think we have some bad reputation when we actually have like outstanding reviews from fans and creators. So that's how it works, and that was 10 years ago. So and because of that, like other creators, yeah, they said they wouldn't work with us anymore. So that's how this works. Yeah.
Oh, boo-hoo for them.
Yeah. But it's a real thing, and then please shed more light on it, because we're not the only ones either. You know what I mean?
Oh, no, of course.
Yeah, it's everywhere. That's how the industry operates. All the corruption of it, all the nepotism of it. Notice he said, "I'm Jimmy J's friend." You know, and then the guy who was running the competitive show is also a contributor to Bleeding Cool. It's just like the Whisper Network. They have media context. They put something out on you, and then all of a sudden, like, it blew up the morning. People we didn't even know, like, there were blog posts all over the internet, and we were like, what is going on? We never even told anybody about this. That's how wild it is.
Wow. Literal mafia, comic mafia.
Yep, it really is, dude.
You know what? Somebody should be making a comic book of this comic mafia, and just, you know what? This is what you should do. What's that?
Oh, he said we do. It's called boobs. Yeah, boobs is our social commentary. It's a double entendre. The other definition of the word boobs is stupid people. But yes, yes. It's basically going over our experiences of the inside scoop that we see. But anyways, continue.
Well, now I'm disappointed because I thought it was all about mammary glands.
It's a double entendre.
Paradise Lost.
If you can grasp the concept, it's got a full story to play with there. There's the mammary glands, and then there's the stupid people. You'll recognize some people. In fact, Rich Johnson is in there.
So, let's see. Yeah. Hey, Mindy, Mike.
Yeah.
Mike is with you as well. If you can drop in the private chat, your link, then I would love to get people over to you as well, like near the end of the show. So, but yeah, So usually, as we do on this show, because it's Friday and we've been talking comics, usually we have a little show after the show. So this being no different than any other show, we're gonna be going straight to cartoon time. So to everybody out there, enjoy the cartoon before we pop off and share everybody's links here. So enjoy.
Hey, don't worry, kid. Everyone has a bad day. Shut up.
Hello, everybody. There we go.
That fight with Venom was just as long as it was in Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
It was, wasn't it, though? So don't forget those eggs. So or Aunt May will beat you within an inch of your life. So just remember, hey, you might be having a bad day, but you know what? Could be worse, right? So take a good time to have some laughs out there, and I know that today was, pretty much all around like a very serious topic, but life's too short. Have some fun out there. It's the weekend. It's a Friday. That's what it's supposed to be all about, right? So as we get into it, first of all, again, I just want to say thank you to Wendy Trauma Warrior that again gifted 10 Comic Relief Crusader memberships. Wendy, again, thank you very much. I really, really greatly appreciate you doing that for everybody out there in the chat. Really appreciate it. So, and I wish that the whole trauma team was able to hear it, but that's okay. There's always next Tuesday. And on top of that, yes, have a great weekend, everybody. Hopefully on Tuesday, I'll be able to do Tales from the Trauma Ward with Wendy. So for another fun and titillating Tuesday, Tales from the Trauma Ward from Wendy. We'll have her back in doing that. So before we go, Pop Culture Republic, anything you want to spread around on this channel?
Oh, just my regular shows, I guess. Monday and Wednesday evenings. And then I'm still thinking about continuing my comic book chat on Saturdays. Haven't nailed down a set time for that or what I'll be chatting about. Try for 10 a.m. mid-morning. If that doesn't work for me tomorrow, I'll do Saturday afternoon at 2. And I think I'll lean on subjects like oddball comics for my next show. It'll be the second episode of my little comic book chat.
Nice.
And future episodes of that, I might go into like everybody's favorite subject of gimmick covers from the 90s because they were all over the place.
Yes. You know what?
Monday
I can actually get a whole bunch of Ghost Rider glow. Remember the Ghost Rider glow in the dark covers?
Yeah. I think I had one of those at one time. I don't know if I still have it or not.
Remember they had the special gold covers, that came out. It was like 1 in 100 or something like that. The gold glow in the dark covers from Ghost Rider. Right now, I kid you not, I can get 10 of them.
Yeah. I mean, they're not special anymore because, of course, millions and millions were made, and everybody was pumping out gimmick covers left, right, and center during the early 90s. Valiant was silly with those chromium covers.
Yeah.
Marvel and DC were pumping out hologram, foil, laser etched, double embossed, everything but the kitchen sink.
That's true. Friggin' love those.
And that was
so
all
awesome.
from the era that gave us the death of Superman and Batman versus Bane. So yeah, that was a crazy, unique period of time in the comic book industry.
There we go. So that's Pop Culture Republic. Go check out his channel. Appion, what about you, dude?
Later today I'm going to be talking with Fet for Hire about Sylvester Stallone's like movies, and then Carl Weathers, because I haven't really talked about that on my channel yet. And then tomorrow I'm doing Two Guys Talking with Rocco the Brave. We're talking about Godzilla 2014. We're going to work our way through all the MonsterVerse movies up to Godzilla versus Kong, that new one that's coming out. And that's it for now.
Yeah, that's
Thank
right.
you.
But Vince Womack, I'm still waiting on a Catwoman scratch and sniff comic.
There's Michelle Pfeiffer one too.
Exactly. So
meow.
Geeky Lethos Tom, how's it going, man? Anything for you?
Still working on some new programs and ideas for the channel and stuff. Like I said, the AI Human podcast, the Puppet one, and mine personally and stuff. And by the way, just a quick note too, I was able to, and thanks to you, do the other podcast. Was it last week? Or was it this week? Yes, this week. Manorama. So, and by the way, Dark Helmet, I'm Tom in that room. I noticed he was there, and he's like, "Who's this guy?" It's me. Exactly. That was hilarious. But yeah, I had fun there, and of course, always have fun with you guys here. So,
Dark Helmet, you should have known that. And Mindy, Mindy and Mike. So you got quite a lot of things going on. Tell us about what you guys do and your channel and all that jazz.
Well, thanks for having me on, by the way. I really appreciate that. Always. It's been 10 years coming. I've been trying to come up in this industry with all the mudslinging, and it sucks. And so I've been lately on a kick of kind of helping explain the past 10 years and what I've learned, and to help other creators kind of navigate. So that's what I've been on about at my YouTube channel lately. I want to get more active, and I am. Just last night I posted a video because we got kicked out of a show over like last weekend because the showrunner got offended by Mike's Facebook post. So and then he tried to reach out to C2E2, which we had a contract already signed with, and get us kicked out of that show too because he got his feelings hurt. Yeah, so like this stuff is still ongoing, you know. So if you want to help me fight the good fight, go over to my YouTube channel. We also have Comics Illustrated, which is a really, 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 really awesome magazine with articles from all kinds of people. I find it extremely useful to get to know everybody beyond YouTube. I feel like it's a personal kind of touch, and it's done really well. It's kind of like Wizard Magazine was, but if you would give the articles to the voices of the actual creators. So we got features of cosplayers, artists, writers, all this tips and tricks, stuff that's going on. It's awesome. So comicsillustrated.com for that. And then we do Divinity Comics, where that's our personal outlet to just vent and be ridiculous. And that's where Boobs comes from. And that's divinitycomics.com. And I'm an artist. So I've been an artist for 10 years. We got another title, G Busters. That's a long enough. Okay, I won't plug anymore. That is done. Thank you. Thank you.
Not a problem. Because all of you guys out there, whether you're watching on the rewind or watching right now, I mean, who doesn't like boobs? So there you go.
It's an easy sell.
God. The people I have on here, I love it. And what was it? G-Busters? Yeah, no.
It's a Ghostbusters. It's a Ghostbusters parody. Just go see. It's gonna actually be really cool. We can do the glow. Speaking of glow in the dark covers,
right?
Mike really wants me to tell you the lead character inherits Hugh Hefner's mansion, and it's haunted.
Yes. I mean,
with the ghosts of porn stars. Yes. Okay. Mike is very insistent on me telling you that elevator pitch right there. And we're going to do glow in the dark covers and like gooey, spooky slime covers. Like, it's going to be a lot of fun. And then we'll come out with Boobs 3. And then we have a bunch of original titles coming after that. So we got a lot on our plate this year. It's going to be busy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Loving it. All right, guys. So this is the end of the show. 2.5 hours. Loving this. This is awesome. So, Flip City Magazine, Al. If you guys are still there, then yeah. If you have any more information, because I know Al definitely does, then yeah, I definitely want to bring you on again and expose all this kind of stuff. And if anybody out there knows of any independent comic artists that are looking to get their stuff out, or that just have stories about this kind of stuff that's happening to them, direct them my way. Most of you guys know me on either Facebook or X. I would love to hear from them. I would love to get their story out. And I mean, God, it's time for us to fight back and take back what used to be ours. All the fun that we used to have reading all these books, women looking like women and acting like women, men being men and acting like men, and just superhero teams filled with bodacious babes and beefy men and stuff like that. The way comics were, beating up bad guys and crap like that. That's where it was most fun. That's what it needs to be returning back to, and that's what we should be fighting for again. Right? Not letting freaking losers like this try to dictate policy, trying to get people canceled just because, they just don't like them. Oh, I don't know. You just looked at me. It's like, well, but okay, whatever. Well, for that, I'm going to cancel you because my vajayjay is possessed and, it just is calling for that kind of thing. So, you know what? No, enough of this bull crap. Enough of it. So if any of you guys know anybody out there that's been affected by this, let me know. I want to get the word out. And let's take back what used to be ours, because all of this eventually leads back to TV and movies, because these people that end up with a name, they end up working in industries like this. And we've already been seeing it for quite a few years, especially in movies, where it just has to be plugging out the message. We've been seeing it in video games where these people just infiltrate those kind of industries as well. So, this is not the first time, but, let's make it a last. So from everybody out there that's in the chat, thank you for coming on by. If you can, hit the like button. I'd greatly appreciate it. Hit the notification bell. I greatly appreciate that too. And hit the subscribe button and check out all of these people. You got the links in the chat. Go check them out. And stay tuned for Titillating Tuesday next week. And from all of us here on this panel to all of you guys out there, see you later. Talk to you later. See ya.
See y'all.
Bye.